Hey, Cryptoverse, welcome to this episode of Crypto Baptist. The show highlights everything about institutions getting into crypto. Today is October 8th, 2021, and I'm your host, Dan. All right, so on to the big news from Mr. Uncle Powell. He said that he has no plan to ban crypto. At his latest hearing, he wants to regulate it to protect investors, but definitely does not want to do a blanket banning of cryptos. And the market did rally from his statement. And now we caught some big fish getting into crypto. We have Orlando Bravo. He's a billionaire private equity guy. He is invested in Bitcoin, and he also wants to invest into the infrastructure of blockchain. George Soros, so the legendary investor, is confirmed to have some Bitcoin. The CEO of his firm is just saying that he has some coins, but not a lot. And they believe is definitely now in the mainstream and is more than just an inflation hedge. And then we also have another legendary investor. This is from KKR. So they are investing indirectly into crypto by backing Purify Fund. So that's an investment fund that invests in blockchain projects. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have the CEO of Citadel, Kenneth Griffin, saying that he's staying away from crypto because he's afraid of the regulations around it. And that's interesting because we have Paul Tudor Jones, who's pretty much also a hedge fund guy, and he's invested in it. So I'm not sure why cannot. Maybe it's because he's the CEO of Citadel, and because of that prevents some restriction for him on what he can do until there's further guidance from the SEC. BitGo and Genesis are saying that they're having a lot of talks about with corporations who want to add Bitcoin to their balance sheets. And they noticed the increase in demand recently. And then on a sour note, we have Jamie Dimon. Still doesn't like Bitcoin, still doesn't like crypto. And he believes that the government's gonna regulate the hell out of it. And that's not what he's saying is not wrong. It's not far from the truth. I mean, regulations will come in eventually. It has to, if we want mass adoption. And then also, JP Morgan, his firm, is saying that they see institutional investors picking Bitcoin over gold as the inflation hedge. So we have the guy at the helm saying that he wants nothing to do with it. And then we have his internal team saying that, hey, there's something here, there's a high demand for this product over gold, right? Which is more regulated or same. So it's interesting that he's staying away because of the lack of regulations, but there's clearly more demand for it than something like gold. Invesco is launching 2 crypto-related ETFs. One is called the Valerian Galaxy Crypto Economy ETF, SATO, and the Blockchain Users and Decentralized Commerce ETF, BLKC. Now they both own equities in companies that are related to crypto, but they both own about 15% of their holdings is in GBTC. So they do have a good exposure to Bitcoin itself. The CME is seeing a surge in Bitcoin futures, and they're saying that type of demand can only be coming from institutions. Looks like the futures traders are betting on a bullish move in Bitcoin coming November, because we have the two events, the Taproot upgrade and the do or die decision on the VanEck Bitcoin ETF. US Bank is launching a custodian service for their clients, and they're saying that their clients are getting very serious about crypto as a diversified asset class. They're saying that it shouldn't be ignored anymore. And then they said that they're waiting on the Bitcoin ETF news. Right when it's signed, they're ready to start investing in that ETF. So there's a lot of demand for the ETF. We've been waiting for it for over more than 5 years now, like almost 8 years since it was first mentioned. And once there's a Bitcoin ETF, a lot of people can buy Bitcoin now, and we can possibly see Bitcoin above 100,000 this year if the Bitcoin ETF is approved. Right, so for educational pieces, Q3 wrapped up at the end of September. So here's a nice piece from NYDIG on the third quarter review. And not a surprise, Bitcoin so far year to date is the best performing asset. And look at gold, pretty much on the opposite spectrum. And here's a survey that CoinShares did for institutional investors with about $400 billion of assets under management. Check it out. You can just click the download button to see it. Pretty much all of them are, I mean, not all of them, but majority of them are bullish on Ethereum. And the reason why they're investing in crypto is it's still considered a speculative asset, and followed by a diversification tool. And then the reason for staying away is because of regulation. So bring it. I mean, Mr. Gensler, give us that regulation, please. Here's the report from Kraken. Really nice report. And here we have the research from Bank of America research team on digital asset primer. And they're saying this is only the first inning. So it's a very bullish report on crypto and DeFi. All right, that's all I have for you today. Take care.